So this budget in 2023 is what I might describe as a stay-the-course budget on green growth and green development, less perhaps a very strong green transformation budget. Why do I say this? Well, we see a number of things in the budget, and we see a number of references to green growth that are really very welcome. And the concrete things that they have done, and there are several of them, many of them will take India in the direction of enhancing green production. So, for example, there's a substantial subsidy of 19,700 crores for green hydrogen produced through green means. But again, understanding the ultimate impact of that will depend on understanding how that money is going to be used and whether the amount of the subsidy is comparable to what other countries are doing. Because this is a bit of a race, actually, for green hydrogen. Another area where we have made an important start is in subsidies for battery storage technologies. So, for example, the amount of subsidy that's put forward is probably enough to create a gigawatt or so of battery storage technology for electricity. Ultimately, by 2030, we need about 27 gigawatts. So it's a start. It sends the signal. This is through what's called viability gap funding. So we can see the response and see whether to scale that up. So in that sense, it's stay the course. It's starting the race, but of course we have to see how it all evolves on the time. So those are two things that are quite interesting. Now there's a big ticket amount of money, 35,000 crores towards energy transition, and when you dig deeper into that, a lot of that seems to be going. In fact, all of it seems to be going to the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. And much of it is actually going to oil marketing companies and oil companies. Some of it's going for a strategic petroleum reserve. Now, how exactly that money is going to be spent? Is it going to be spent to kind of pivot oil and gas companies in green directions? Is it going to be used for more gas exploration? Really remains to be seen. But as it currently looks, the question one has to ask is this a clear bet by India on enhanced gas usage as a bridge fuel to renewable energy future? And there's some debate about the wisdom of that. Do you want to lock into gas now, or do you want to try and tunnel through, as it were, directly to renewable energy? So this is the big ticket expenditure, and we need to understand a little bit better what the thinking is behind this. In a couple of areas, there are a few absences that are disappointing. One of the huge successes for this government has been the program to subsidize cooking gas, which has been hugely beneficial for women, has led to indoor air pollution reducing sharply. It has huge health benefits. And that subsidy has been decreasing year on year. And again, it is sort of very disappointingly low. And that is actually, I think, a missed opportunity to buttress what was a really, really strong program of this government. Finally, there's green production has been enhanced, but hasn't really been able to think through what green development looks like. And what I mean by that is ultimately the benefits of renewable energy need to flow through to the population. We haven't seen too much by way of thinking about how do you spread distributed renewable energy? How do we enhance productivity of electricity and energy use in rural areas, which would lead to enhanced electricity demand that could be met from renewable energy? So that sort of spreading of these benefits through the population, that vision of moving not just to support green production, but green development is not as yet very apparent in the budget, and it's something we would look for in future years.